Good morning, CLP. Thought I would take you on a little morning flight to start things off. We finally made it into April, which is awesome. And I am excited for today. We've got some Microsoft Teams meetings. Whoa, there we go. Our flight has started. How many of you guys would like to do something like this? This wingsuit flying is pretty cool. I think you would probably have to learn to skydive first and parachute. Um, I don't know how you would learn to do the wingsuit flying, though. I think it would be a leap of faith. Um, I guess maybe my daughter and I in southern Denver, we did the skydiving simulator. And I bet that you probably put on the wingsuit in practice with the simulator where the wind is just, it's a wind tunnel that's forcing the air up. This is pretty cool. Look at this. Whoa. How many of you guys would like to do this? Or would this be terrifying? Man, you know what? I just wonder what the training would be to give you the confidence to just jump off a cliff with a wingsuit on. You don't get a second chance. If you mess up, you're toast. But I guess you have the parachute on your back, so you do have a bailout if you mess up. But yeah, that's pretty scary. Um, It's pretty awesome. So he just lifted his arms, kind of lifted his arms up to slow down a little bit, I guess, so he could pull his parachute. That's pretty cool. Man, that's fun. Holy cow. I think I would want to try and do it, but I would think I would want to know what we would actually do in training to get to the point of jumping off a cliff with just a wingsuit on. I guess you do have a parachute, though. You know what I would say when I finished my first flight? Let's do it again. Let's go up and do it again. Anyway, pretty cool. Good morning. That is one great start to your day, right? Um, let's go to talk about today. It is April 1st, 2020. So, beginning of April. Let's go into what we have going on. I have a riddle. So, riddle me this. If it takes 5 machines 5 minutes to make 5 widgets, how long would it take 100 machines to make 100 widgets? Post your answer in your next Teams meeting with me and let me know what you think. If it takes 5 machines 5 minutes to make 5 widgets, how long would it take 100 machines to make 100 widgets? There's your riddle. The Far Side. This is one of my favorite Far Sides. I know I've said that before, but um, can't get rid of this bar, I don't think. There it goes. The Far Side. A couple bears looking at some campers in their sleeping bags and say, sandwiches. Sandwiches. Pretty funny. Keep our parks open. So I took a drive around town again and took some pictures of just interesting things I saw. And at our parks, and I know I've seen this at a couple different parks, it says keep our parks open. And interesting that we see that. I hope there's no good reason to ever see that again. But it's really about just keep our parks open by social distancing. If you're going to use the park, stay in small groups and use it responsibly by keeping 6 feet away from people that aren't your immediate family. Also saw a ton of kids' playgrounds with this netting around it to prevent people from going in and using the playground. And that should tell you that this is one place that germs are passed all the time. So um, they shut them down, which makes sense. I know the COVID-19 doesn't affect kids quite as bad, I don't think, but they do transmit this disease to older people. So saw a couple girls out hanging at the pond, throwing rocks, which I thought was cool. They were just relaxing, hanging out, throwing rocks in the pond, which they're outside doing stuff, so that's a good thing. hopefully their immediate family because they're not 6 feet apart, right? Looks like a couple sons and a dad out at the bike racing park at Fossil Ridge High School. There's a little starting block here, and looks like they're getting ready to go, which is kind of cool. He looks pretty happy about um, what is about to happen, so pretty cool. I hope they had a good race. Um, oh yeah, I noticed the pavilions around town too have this caution tape around them, probably because they're meant for large group gathering, and we really don't want that right now. So I didn't read these posts right here, but I'm sure it just says that the stay-at-home order is no groups over, no groups bigger than 10 people, I think. And you really don't want to do that anyway. Social distancing and hanging with your friends at the very most, but really it's social distancing 6 feet away from people like your friends, and then immediate family. They're not as concerned about. Tons of people walking their dogs. This is one of my favorite places. I've seen 20 eagles at a time out here. I've seen young bald eagles. I've seen great horned owls. I've seen blue heron, red tail hawks. But this is a really good place for people to go walk their dogs. Just go for a walk. There's a place to play tennis, baseball. It's a cool place. Twin Silos Park is kind of over behind me a little bit. Saw a family out. There's a mom and a couple kids over here to the left that were playing, throwing the frisbee. This guy was hitting golf balls, and probably his brother, or maybe his son, but probably his brother over here, where he was riding his bike out to get the golf balls again. But kind of a dangerous place to be waiting for somebody to hit a golf ball, don't you think? That could be painful. Another pavilion with the caution tape around it, and there's caution tape just basically saying, please don't use this place. There are some disc golf baskets around. I know at Eudora Park, where it's the main disc golf course in town, they have pulled the baskets because people, um, not immediate family, were getting in large groups and playing disc golf and disregarding the stay at home or the social distancing order of 6 feet. And so they just pulled the baskets to prevent you from doing that. I heard that they actually pulled the basketball hoop too, maybe the netting. I don't know. That would be kind of crazy, but maybe they did. People were still going out and doing that stuff. I would wonder if the skate park is still open. I think the skate park at Eudora Park was still open when I was there, but I'd have to see. I'll have to go look next time I go by there. So this is the other part of the sign. It flashes keep our parks open, and then it flashes maintain physical distance. This is one of my best pictures in Fort Collins ever. I was actually trying to find a place to take pictures of the sunset, and I didn't even know that I could get a good shot of Horsetooth Rock from so far back. I was back at Fossil Ridge High School when I took this, which is almost at I-25. And all of a sudden, it kind of got lit up in the back of it. Looks like the clouds broke right behind it. And I saw it and I was like, whoa, totally cool. So that is one of my best pictures ever. Um, some good that's come out of the COVID stuff. Pretty cool. So I know I've heard a conspiracy theory that Mother Earth has thrown the COVID-19 at us so we stop polluting it. But anyway, there is less pollution. I heard as well in Venice that the canals are clearer than they've ever been in a long time, and things are cleaning up. So, maybe one thing we do take away from this is that we take a little bit better care of our planet. Um, we take better care of where we live, which is really important. So, um, another positive thing, there were 165,000 that have recovered from COVID 19. I think that is another 10,000 higher. We'll see in a minute. There's a guy that posts these updates on coronavirus news, which I think are awesome. So you can kind of see what's going on. There are links to these, not through this presentation, but there are links to these to They are research based. They are peer reviewed type of articles. So the first one is FDA approves use of N95 decontamination devices. So the N95 is the mask that healthcare workers use. And we are running out, or we don't have enough of these. And so healthcare workers are using bandanas and stuff that just aren't, they're not good. So to have a decontamination device for the mask is really, really positive. So it sterilizes 80,000 masks a day. That is awesome. That really helps us out a lot because we can't get enough masks in the world right now for the crisis we have going on. In New York, 3 additional patients with severe COVID-19 treated with antiviral drug. That's really good. The WHO, the World Health Organization, says early data show some drugs may have an impact on COVID-19, but more research is needed. That's positive. And then at least 40,000 quarantined in India um, after single pre-spread coronavirus. That's really bad. That happened in the United States too. I think somebody had church services on Sunday with, I can't remember the number of people, whether it was 100 or 1,000 or whatever, but not good. Um, we just need to really be responsible about our social distancing right now. At least 8 strains of the coronavirus are spreading across the globe. That happens with flu and that happens with colds. And so I don't know that that's really that surprising. But it just means that our immune system is going to need to learn to deal with this, and we've done it for a long time. So we just have to slow the spread, which gives us time to adapt to it. Johnson Johnson to begin testing its preventative coronavirus vaccine by September. Very positive. 90-year-old woman dies from COVID-19 after refusing ventilator, but she refused a ventilator to allow sick younger people to use it because we are so limited on ventilators right now. I guess they're $25,000 to $30,000. They're pretty detailed piece of equipment, but they are trying to develop a simpler, a simpler mechanical device, which still provides the same ventilation, but is easier to build and less expensive. Um, Down here, we have 164,000 recovered there, but in the next one, down here, we have 176,000 recovered. This update is from March 31st, 2020. FDA approves new antibody testing kits. Antibody testing kits is really important. So we know if you've had COVID-19 before, you should have antibodies for it. And if you have, that means that you can go back into the workforce. So obviously, we don't all want to go get COVID-19, but um, if you have the antibodies, because some people could have COVID-19 and have recovered with not even really known about it, they could be asymptomatic. Um, and so it'd be good to know that, because if you've had it before um, and not even realized it, then supposedly you have antibodies for it and you could go back into the workforce, you go back to school, whatever it may be. So that's good. Wearable, this is just for COVID monitoring, because you don't really want to be face-to-face monitoring somebody with COVID-19 because it is contagious, very contagious. 93-year-old patient with diabetes and hypertension who also suffered a heart attack recovers. That's pretty amazing. That is one tough person, right? Um, People with underlying conditions have suffered the most from COVID-19. And then we've got a 102-year-old and a 101-year-old woman that recovered from COVID-19, which is awesome. They are 2 very tough women. India on lockdown. So endangered sea turtles lay 60 million eggs. There's another bonus to the environment. What I would like somebody to tell me is 60 million eggs normal? And it is just that Indians eat the eggs of the turtles or something? Or why is that a difference? So somebody tell me when we have Microsoft Teams what the difference is there. And then we have Italy could be free of COVID-19 cases by May 16th, 10 weeks after country went into lockdown. Um, Study with low sample size, 16 patients, shows half COVID-19 patients may remain infectious after a week. So they are actually saying that after you are asymptomatic or after you stop showing symptoms, that you should still self-quarantine for another 14 days before um, going out into public. So again, total recovered cases 176,908. Um, this John Hopkins website is pretty cool. It shows what's going on in the world with cases. You can go zoom down and see what's going on in Fort Collins area, Larimer County, and we zoom down and we can see that there's not too much going on here. I think this little dot is Larimer County and 92 confirmed cases. So that's not too bad. I think I saw that that was a little higher before. I wonder if there's some discrepancies there, but 88 active, 4 deaths. So we're not doing too bad, but 4 is too many. Total confirmed cases in the world, 785,000. You can go through each individual one. The total confirmed in the US has gone up today. Total deaths, total recovered, so that's good. And then you can see that our exponential growth is still continuing in an upward trend. We've got a big spike today, but I imagine that we haven't hit our apex yet, and it's going to spike a little bit higher before we start headed back down again. All my classes are doing the design cycle unit right now. You have a Newsela article to read, to choose, read, take notes on, and then take a short quiz, and then write a paragraph. Biomimicry, which is one of my favorite topics. We will dive into that deeper in the upcoming days and weeks. In Woodcraft, you have a do-it-yourself and Flipgrid to work on. You have a personal plan, project plan starting tomorrow. So this isn't Wednesday, April 2nd. This is Thursday, April 2nd. Architecture, I added the do-it-yourself Flipgrid assignment so you guys can start doing something off your computer screens, as well as the Bridges in Create and Analyze assignment and working on your bridge designer if you're able to download the software. Microsoft Teams schedule today. I have Microsoft Teams at 9, 10, and 11. So that's classes 9th period, 12th period, and 13th period. The field trips follow your routine every day, mind, body, and soul. Check-in link, attitude of gratitude, and best class ever. Look for that Google form coming to a Google Classroom near you. Hope you guys are learning to thrive, not just survive. Have an awesome day. Get out and enjoy that sunshine. Good to talk to you.